Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello, how are you guys? Where do I put this? Happy Wednesday. Nice to see you. Hi, Amy and Deborah, Sarah, Fiona, Mafio, Michelle, Aisha, Lindsay. It's pretty early there. Yeah, well, and you know the time change. Did that make it worse? Hopefully, if it made it worse, it'll be that extra hour in a couple weeks. We'll feel good, you know? You're excited for this one? I'm excited for this one too. Oh, sorry, I just whacked the microphone. I think this one is so unique, and yeah, there's some really, like this, even the sewing is going to be a little bit unique. Like I was reading through the sewing and I was like, huh, okay. Hi, Danny, how's it going? So we're making the Decades of Style Girl Friday blouse. Hearts Fabric in Santa Cruz gave us this project. I'm going to sew it up and then I send it to them and then it lives in their shop. So if you're ever in Santa Cruz, you can see it in person. I get messages from people. They're like, I saw all your things. So that's really cool. So if you look at the hashtag, there aren't very many sewn up, but you can see this really cool stitching. Can you see the stitching around the collar? So it's 3 layers of collars. So it's 3 collars. And you're encouraged, it's an option, to embellish each layer with running stitches of embroidery floss. And same with this sleeve edge, if you see that. So there's no set in sleeve, it's just all in one in the bodice. The construction of the bodice is going to be really quick. We're not sewing it like that because we have this beautiful Italian crepe. And I'm going to get it closer to the light over here. Can you see the flower background? It's beautiful. The colors in person they're just gorgeous. It is 100% viscose crepe. It's very lightweight. I want to say this is probably the lightest weight thing I've made on camera since I started live streaming. I feel like it's up there. It's probably one of the lightest weight things. And if you go to the Decades of Style website, they're installing something right next to my office. I don't know if you can hear that. It's really annoying. They said they'd be done with the noise by 11. Doesn't sound like it. It is so complicated for someone to get internet here, and that's what they're doing. So anyway, I hope that's not too loud for you guys. All right, so because we're doing this lightweight fabric with this bold print on it, Hearts Fabric is like, don't embellish the collar, just, you know, sew it as is. And they gave me some interfacing if I want to, you know, give it some oomph. But if you go to the Decades of Style website, you're going to see the version that I've been using in the thumbnail since it doesn't have the embellishment, and that fabric is gorgeous. It's not for everybody, but I love it, and it's a border print, and so it's a really clever way to use a really cool fabric. So, hi Rebecca, how's it going? Yeah, so the Hearts really wanted to provide us this project because they got all these one-of-a-kind Italian imports in, and I was looking at the website yesterday. I think I was looking for this fabric to link it. That's what it was. I was trying to link it, and it is linked in the description. But if you go to their website and just check out the Italian imports, there's some really cool stuff. In fact, I didn't know it, but I got this one. I got this knit when it came up on their Instagram. I have a weakness for houses. You see the little houses? So this is a knit I got. This is mine. And it wasn't cheap. I'm so excited about it. I think I'm going to make the Miri dress by Wardrobe by Me in this. So, but that's one of them. I didn't even know it was one of their new Italian imports. So, all right. So, like I said, it's pretty simple construction. The collar, I'm kind of wondering why there's no facing. You used to use binding to finish the neckline, and she's keen to tell you when to finish the edges of your collar, but not the other parts of the blouse. So I'm going to kind of look it over and see what I think. I was going to add maybe a facing, but then I kind of want to stick true to the pattern. So I'm going to try and do that. I'm not sure. I can't picture how it's going to be clean finished right here. There's also a side zip, and we have an invisible zipper here. So that goes into the side seam. All right, you want to see the back view too? I have some good line drawings here. So the waist has these pleats, these pleat darts, so it kind of cinches it in right there and it creates blousing. Oh, nice, Rebecca. Yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful. I'm hoping I can fit into the sample size. She picked a size 40, and I'm hoping that I can fit into it. She picked that size thinking it would fit me and her. Lexi is smaller than me, but she's taller than me, so we often wear the same size. Like, she can wear all the samples I make, which is really fun. They're not loud? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. All right, let's do it. Oh, so I pulled this fabric from my stash, which is like a lightweight, I'm going to say it's like a polyester batiste or something, and I was thinking that I would use this instead of interfacing in the collar. They gave me interfacing, but I think that this is so lightweight and delicate. I don't really want it to lose its drape, so I might just use this instead. So I won't be using a fusible interfacing, and it doesn't call for one in the pattern. Hi Mullen, how's it going? All right, let's do it. All I've done so far is I marked my size because the sizes aren't marked on each line. So you just need to find your size by the dashes. And then I usually, when it's like that, I just mark it like with a little bit of purple highlighter so that I don't inadvertently cut the wrong line. Hopefully I've marked the right line, so I'm not marking the wrong line. But it's only these pieces here, these 4 here, neck facing, 3 collars, and then a front and a back. So it's very simple that way. And you need 4 each of these collars, so don't forget to cut 4 if you're cutting this out. Because you need a top collar and an under collar for each set of collars. Hey Sydney, how's it going? All right. I love these like statement pieces, you know? Oof, I got this thread here. These like little simple, you know, well, I don't want to say simple as in the design. I mean, it's simple to sew, but these little statement pieces that don't take a lot of fabric, then you can get like a really nice fabric, you know? Or one that's, yeah, not necessarily really nice, just one that may be a little bit pricier. Look at that fabric. Look in the face cam, you can kind of see. It's really pretty. I'm kind of curious to see how this will look on me. The fabric, you know? I've been cutting stuff. All right. Let's see. I think the back is on the fold, but not the front. And I don't think this is a one-way design by like any stretch of the imagination. So we might be able to get, can I do it? No. Oh, maybe on my size. No, well, maybe. Let's just, I don't think so. I even though it's not a one way, I'm still leery to cut things one upside down, you know? So. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. It is called tulips. I'm gonna move all this stuff out of the way here. Put the zipper in the bin so I don't accidentally, you know, rotary cut it. So I don't have a backup, I don't think. It's definitely going, Sydney. This kind of fabric is not my favorite to cut. Worth it, but not my favorite. It's just like a rayon, you know? So maybe if I cut this front right here, I can get some collars along the side of it over here. You know? I'm kind of using the grid on my table. Yeah, I think I can. I can get like some collars along there. So let's cut this here because we have room for the back. We have a lot of fabric. We're good on fabric. We're good on fabric. So we could, if we really want to be good with fabric, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move this over. Yeah, we're going to move this over like this. It's nice when you can leave the biggest possible piece, right? When you're using the good stuff. And if anyone didn't notice, I have a new video out, another pattern review if you're interested in those. It's on the Morgan jeans. I'm doing a little button fly series. I already recorded all of them, so I know how they all rate. I bet you guys do too. Not a lot of pieces to cut, thank goodness, because it's fussy fabric. I got a new blade in though. I'm sparing myself that kind of frustration, you know. Let's see, is that big enough? Oh, we can move it over even more? Great. Let's see. That might be cutting it a little too close, huh? I kind of got lost of where I'm measuring. What do I want? Wait, what do I want here? Almost 4. How you guys been? How was your weekend? What are you guys making? Oh, nice, Fiona. You have? That's funny. That was a long time ago. It feels like a long time ago. I always think like anything older, I'm like, ooh, I didn't know what I was doing then. But it wasn't that long ago. Like I didn't realize that that was at the beginning of the panini. That feels like way before that. It's so weird. Time is really strange. Everyone's been talking about that, but now I'm really noticing how weird time is. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, thanks for saying that, Aisha. I felt a little bit like I might be being a little harsh, you know, because It's an earlier pattern, you know, older pattern. But I was like, you know what though? It's true. You know, it's true. And, you know, there's been a lot of time that has passed. So, I don't know. I'm having a lot of trouble here. This is such an odd angle. Like I'm second guessing where that grain line is over and over. Because look at this edge here to that edge. I guess that's parallel. 3 1/4. 3 1/4. We got it. Oh, Mullen, that's funny. Oh, that's cool, Sarah. What a good idea. Oh, I didn't see. Oh, there's an Anna. Hello, Anna. How's it going? You know what? I just realized I need to change my chat to live chat up at the top there. Welcome to the stream. I haven't heard what you said. Oh, nice. Well, welcome. I hope you like it. I saw that your color is green on my screen and someone else's was too, so I thought I'd already read it. I know I should, but you know, people can be very protective of their, you know, pattern companies. I feel very justified. I wouldn't have published it if I didn't. And anytime some of the comments, when they would start out a certain way, I'm like, oh no. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not alone in feeling this way. All right, let's cut. Ah, nice new blade. Nothing like treating yourself to a nice new blade. You know what? It shouldn't even be a treat. You know? We deserve it. Our body deserves it. And we're supposed to enjoy this, right? There's your pep talk to change your blade. Someone mentioned that they did a, Closet Core did a big metadata, did you say cleanse of the hashtag and tried to get everyone to use a different one. And I didn't know, I don't know what exactly that is. I have an idea of what that is, but I thought that was really interesting. And I was like, oh, well, that's really good to know. She said there wasn't a lot of posts under that hashtag, of course, but they didn't change it on their website. So I'm like, well, is it really changed or not, you know? It wasn't really, Sydney. Wow. You've been obsessed with teal. I love teal. You still owe yourself that little fabric treat, Sydney. All right, so we're going to put our dart, or this is a, where the zipper goes. I don't know what that circle is, but we'll mark it. There's a lot of markings on this pattern. I'm not going to be as cavalier as I usually am when it comes to marking things. I'm actually going to mark things. But this is an interesting marking right here, because this to me doesn't look like you sew it all the way to the hem, but you have to. The hem is going to go over it anyway. So I'm just going to mark it all the way at the bottom. So I'm just nipping the hem there. And let's see, am I on the back of the fabric or the front of the fabric? Okay, so this is the right side of the fabric. Darn. I really wish I would have laid this out with the wrong side showing, you know? It'd be a lot easier. because we're going to have to mark all this again. Oh, wow, Danny. Oh my gosh, yeah. Are you in a rut too, Mullen? You don't know what you want to make right now? What about, I will drop my cutter. You are absolutely right, Fiona. No, you know what I'll do, Fiona? I have a MO with a brand new blade or any blade. I'll do this. I'll be like cutting and I'll go like this and I'll hit my weight. Just barely. I'll just pull back my blade. I'll go, and then I'll go, think. That's what I do. Almost every time. I know I'm going to do it and I still do it. Oh, this fabric is wiggly. So wiggly. Gosh. I wonder what it would be like to know for sure that you've cut something perfect on the fabric when it's this wiggly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you'll ever know for sure. You'd have to stretch it and like have it stretched between, I mean, like, look at this. I just want to mark these darts. I just want to mark these darts. I should have marked them before I lifted it up. Isn't today? Oh, today's the 16th, yeah. Oh, really, Anna? That's funny. It's funny because, you know, I have to watch myself during, like, editing a video. And sometimes I've had someone walk in when I'm doing that, and they're like, oof, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could watch myself. And I'm like, yeah, it definitely takes a particular type of mindset, you know? Listening to yourself, seeing yourself, your mannerisms. I do this one thing that I've mentioned before a lot that is so annoying, and I edit it out as much as possible, and I go with my mouth. You're going to hear it now every time I do it. And I'm trying to break myself of that, and it's really hard. Sometimes I can't edit it out, but trust me how many times I do. Oh, no. Aw. Thankfully, those are pretty affordable. I used to buy them by the dozen. They would just sell me like a box of them. It was great. I don't go through them like I do now. Like like then I went through a ruler a month when I was pattern drafting professionally. I went through a ruler a month. There you go, Mullen. That's what I was going to say is what about would something like springy inspire you, or maybe capsule wardrobe stuff? Yeah, and you can get iron cleaners. Iron cleaners work really good. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. This is always like when I haven't streamed for a couple weeks, I get a little distracted. All right, so I'm the 4th size. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's this circle. This one right here. I have a feeling this is where the collar goes to. Look at that. That's so nice. Like the waistline is actually marked on this garment. There isn't a lengthen and shorten line, but there is, at least your waist is marked there. I'm just looking for other markings right now. I don't think I marked this one here. I did the circle on the seam, and that's not the mark I want. I want the one that's my size. This is, I feel like this is already really annoying to watch. Sorry. Let's see. So I have that little notch right there. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this one here. This is the one I want. I wouldn't want to make my armhole too small. Okay. I'm going to go back and mark these a little bit better before the sewing tomorrow. I won't put you through that. All right. This fabric being 50 inches wide is really nice. I mean, I think I might be able to get, oh, I can't get a hole back there. I should have cut my one on the fold. I thought I was going to do that, and then I didn't do that. If I had cut that one on the fold, I probably would have been able to get a whole front right here. Silly me. All right. Let's put this closer to me over here. I'll put this on the fold. It doesn't, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always had this procedure. So I would have my main ruler that I did my pattern drafting with. Back then, I've said this before, back then these were imperfect. They were perfectly consistent, but what they weren't perfect about was the 1/8 of an inch that was along one long edge was narrower than the one on this side. So it was like they were stamping them slightly off center. But I used that to my advantage. I would use the narrow 1/8 when I was drawing a line because I could include the width of the line in that measurement, and then it would be a perfect 1/8 inch, right? And then the other side was wider, and I would draw along that side a lot too, just when I was drawing a line. And then once I'd use this a lot, it would get like nicked and run down along this edge here. I didn't use it for rotary knifing. It just would get a little bit just dull, for lack of a better word. So I would make it my grain line ruler. Like, you see I always write grain line on my rulers here, because then this would be the one I would use with my pen, my Sharpie, when I was drawing on stuff. And then I would get a brand new ruler for pattern drafting. And that's how I would just rotate them like that every time, every month. But yeah, when you're doing it a lot, you really go through a lot of rulers. If you want to be accurate. Theoretically, people want to be accurate. But if you saw some of the stuff I've seen, you wouldn't be able to tell. All right, so let's see here. So this one you place on the fold, but there's size lines, so you need to pick your size. So make sure you pick the correct size. It could have been Michelle, but they've fixed it, and it's not made by the same people anymore. Same exact ruler, but they must have been bought. I'm fine with it being fixed. I'm fine with compensating with it because there's also blue, but I found the red worked better. Worked better visually. Oh, you're at the too many ideas stage. Anna, that's so interesting. I've been thinking about doing a skill building session on making the cutting less stressful, because you are not alone. I hear that a lot. It used to be my least favorite part, and then it became kind of one of my favorite parts because it felt like the more skills I got, it felt more creative, And I think, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I was going to say it looked kind of like, this fabric's really fussy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and it just became more of the creative part of it for me, It was the place where I got to make decisions and kind of start seeing the pattern and, and play with the fabric. It made me kind of excited. But early on, I hated the cutting out part. I used to hate it. Now I don't mind it. Now, and I think even printing PDFs, that became the part I didn't like, because I'd be like, ooh, I'm going to cut something out. And then I'd be like, oh, it's not even printed out. I have to figure out what size I want, and then I have to print it, and then I have to make sure that it's printing correctly, and then I just need to print out only the pieces I need. And printing can take so long, and you haven't even taped it together, I don't mind the taping together as much as I used to. What I've learned is that it's the step of making sure I'm picking the right size, that I'm only printing out the pieces I need, that it printed out accurately. That's the part now that I feel like the taping together, that's easy. This neck does not look like it's at a right angle at the center back. How dare they? Don't they know I'm obsessed with the right angles? I love this gal that owns this company. She's pretty spunky. I like it. All right. Here is my notches here. It's weird to see a double notch on the side seam, but I'm pretty sure that that's because you're going to put the zipper there, and you only really need the notches on the left side of the garment. Unless you're left-handed, then you want it on the right side of the garment. All right, so let's mark. I'm going to mark the center back neck by just nipping the neck a little bit so I know where the center back is. Got that shoulder notch there. I thought there was a dart up here. I could swear there's a dart in the instructions up here. I must be wrong. It must be these right here. I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life. I've never seen this before in my life. That's an upside down dart. Don't you love it when I see stuff like this? A metric ruler in the US. Ooh, Mafio. What about engineering supply places? You know, like we have Ellis Art Engineering here. Yeah, the timing of the cutting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't have a good cutting setup, it is such a drag. Such a drag. You guys are so chatty. I'm definitely falling behind. Oh, Anna, I felt that way when I had my kid. That was a long time ago, but I was used to starting and finishing a project all in one sitting. And when I had a kid, well, that was out the window. So I would start doing smaller projects, you know. All right. So they're basically pleats. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. All right, so we're going to mark the end of these. I'm looking for my short pins, but I don't have really many short pins on this pin cushion. And we'll mark the end of this dart here because I do think that you don't want that to go all the way to the hem, just like that. Let's pull this through the paper. I didn't mark this circle here either. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this one here. You guys gave me a really good tip about keeping the pins in the... I know a lot of you do tailor's tacks, right? For your dart marking. Hey, Vestigia, how's it going? Yeah, the parental thing, it's like, yeah, I had to really get used to that. And I will say that once, because I was pretty stubborn about it, it really made me mad that being a parent cramped my style. I know, it's really selfish, but, you know, I was just pretty naive about it. And I just was like, wait, everyone made it sound like I could just continue my life, you know? And it was like this whole women's lib thing. Well, that was just a bunch of not truthfulness. And so I finally, you know, accepted it. It took me accepting the fact that that was normal, you know. And then I got really good at chipping away at a project, and my sewing got better. My sewing, my pattern drafting, everything I did got a lot better. Like, it got better than it was before. And I think it's because I would walk away and I would come back and go, I'm kind of rethinking that. And I hadn't like barreled ahead. Like I normally was pretty cavalier barreled ahead. Hey Terry, how's it going? Yeah, I've always wondered about tracing with wax paper. I've never been a tracer, but I hear people do it. So you can do it. It's good to know. All right, so we need a lot of little pieces here. I'm gonna keep the front and the back here. And I also have, I'm gonna use this instead of interfacing. How you doing, Terry? Welcome. Hope I'm not missing any questions or comments. If I am, just say it again. Or maybe a mod will tell me. Because there's the chat text that you guys are chatting awesome. I love it. But they're bigger comments, so then I don't see them all. I love it when you guys talk. All right, let's look at my collar situation here. So we have this facing that we need on the fold right here. We see one of those. We have these 3 collars, and we need 4 of each. So could let's kind of roughly place these. Wait, I thought I had these selvages stacked. Yeah, right, Terry? It's really amazing in person too. I don't know if you can see the can you see the black on like burgundy background? It'll show better on probably Instagram or something. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that works, Mullen. Yeah. I see people talk in that projectors group. Like some really nice lady was like, all right, anybody here over the age of whatever it was and cutting on the floor? How are you guys getting up? It was really cute. I was like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. All right, so we have this guy here. I'm just kind of seeing like how these fit. You could be really strategic also with your pattern placement of the fabric, you know. I would really like to cut all 4 at once on each collar, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think I'm going to have to do it twice. Something like that. All right, well, if I'm doing something like that, let's get this up here. More like up here, and you up here. Yeah, I really want to do this, you know. Look at that. Ooh, juicy, you know. This is the middle one. Yeah, we'll do that. Do something like that, and then you can hang out over here somewhere, and then let's make this smaller. Like that. Get our selvages to line up. I always have these little tricks to know I'm keeping it on grain, you know, when I'm doing all this folding and stuff, moving. All right, there's my cut line up here. Thanks, Crockett. Isn't this amazing? It's not mine. This was given to me by Hearts Fabric, and it's going to go back to them. It's an Italian import. They've got all these one-of-a-kind Italian imports right now, and they wanted to like highlight them. It's linked in the description too. I should have linked it to all their Italian imports, but I just linked it to this fabric here. I don't like all this right here, but I might be able to get this guy right here. I'm kind of tempted to pin this and try and get my other layers. I don't pin things very often though on the fabric. but you'd have to put in a lot to keep it nice and, you know, accurate. Yeah, you cut on the floor for about a month. Yeah, that's about all it takes. Gosh, even when I was in fashion school, cutting on the floor was terrible. I don't even think I'd use the dining room table because bending over the dining room table drove me crazy. That's one type of action for me that my back does not like. I had someone come in who was a friend doing ergonomic assessments, and she said this table was too tall for me. I was like, I'm not going lower, that's for sure. All right. Have you ever seen me pin something to the fabric? And then I'm going to pin around it too. We're going to stabilize. Actually, maybe I should just cut this off. Let's see, I can get this guy here, right? Yeah, so let's just cut this off around here. No pins, no pins. No whammies. There we go. Where can I put you? How about right here? All right. Can I get this here? So much for being cavalier about cutting it out, right? Let's see. I do not understand what hand sewing means. Can you explain that to me? You guys are so hard on me. No faith. All right, I can get that there. But what I'd rather do, let's get this down here. I don't know. Now I'm like, ooh, I could get such a better layout if I do this right here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut you, pin all you. This is when, if you were fusing, I think block fusing this would be better in a way because this fabric is so wiggly, you know? Okay, let's move this guy. Because this is only right here. I don't have enough to put it right there. Now we'll put you like right here. Let's get this on grain. Oh, sure. I think I would probably have to ask you guys more about like what kind of particulars would you like some tips about? I'd be happy to share that. Yeah, like when I've seen that a few times, people will mention it in the guild that they're just like, the cutting just kind of stops me in my tracks, you know? What am I stuck on here? That tissue paper got stuck in my knife. And I don't like seeing that. Like, I don't want people to feel that way. So I would love to help somehow, you know. Hi, Raquel. How's it going? Thanks, you guys. I will say, like, one of the things that I do, and I've mentioned this before, so it's not really like any kind of like revealing secret. If you've ever been a mountain biker, this is my mountain biking analogy. If you've ever been a mountain biker, you learn really quickly to not look at the hole. You want to go around the hole, right? And so if you look at the hole, inadvertently, your hands will steer you toward it, right? So when you're mountain biking, it's really keen. You have to really keen to be, you know, reacting very quickly, and looking where you want your tire to go is key. And you just got to just like focus on that, and you're always looking for the right path. And I think that that really helps me think about how I rotary knife. I'm only looking where I want to go. And I do it confidently, because you know how sometimes when, like, say you were about to do like a cartwheel, right? You're about to do, and then you hesitate, and then you just kind of like biff it, right? And I think that's that kind of like committing to it, and then and going for it. This is off grain, I can see it, but that doesn't really help as far as like, why do I feel confident in what I'm about to cut, right? It doesn't like solve that. Like, what are the things I do to make myself feel like, all right, here we go, let's cut into the $30 a yard fabric, you know, because that's essentially what I'm doing right now. It's not my fabric either, you know. So, target fixation. Hi, Strawberry, how's it going? Is that the term for that? Because that sounds very appropriate. So actually, I don't want to cut this out yet, because I'm going to add a layer of the interlining. Having the pins on here is making me really nervous. So I know you guys are all enjoying the fact that I'm finally pinning, but it's making me really nervous. I don't usually pin my stuff when I'm rotary knife cutting, right? So we have these weird pieces left. I can see the grain line on this, so I'm going to keep this one. You only need one of the back neck facing. This is my last piece besides cutting out those collars. So. Yeah, and I think like when you're using a ruler and pressing up against a ruler, what I do is I think about it. You don't want to push against the ruler when you're cutting. It's really dangerous to do that, by the way. And it pushes your ruler away. How many times have I been like just using my pencil, and I'm pressing so hard that I start pushing my ruler out of the way, you know? So thinking about, you know, being relaxed while you're doing it, and when you're, you know, along your ruler's just a guide, right? You want to be pushing down, not this way or this way. Gently, right? You can gently put your blade against the ruler. But you can see, just even gently, if I'm not pushing down hard here. And when I press down too hard here, what happens is, if I push against the blade, then my blade will go awry. So there's a lot of little subtle things you can do to just start thinking about the physics of what's happening there. Oh my God, I just almost grabbed pins. Who am I now? Actually, I think I might interface this too with that black, whatever that stuff is. You know me, I love thinking about like what's really happening right now when my blade's doing this or my needle's doing that. And so I do get kind of like nerdy about it, especially if I'm really frustrated or scared. I will start analyzing it, you know. So I have this really thin stuff that someone gave me. What is this, you guys? All the like people who've been sewing forever. Isn't this like batiste? Remember that stuff you would find at the fabric store and it came in every color, but it was polyester. It's thin. It's like a lining. You know? Batiste? Am I right? I can't think of I feel like there's another one. Totally the term. Yeah, that's a good term. And when you're on a mountain bike, you have target fixation. For sure. I stopped mountain biking right after I had my daughter because it was just so much time. I don't really want to put this right here, but you know, tempting. Maybe I could put this guy here. Yeah, right, Aisha, yeah. I sometimes do too. I think that's very natural. Very normal to do that, you know? Ooh, this is like so satisfying to put this here. Look at this little piece. Love that when that happens. All right, all my pin. I have one pin outside. Let's start getting rid of some pins, to be honest. All right. If you're just joining, I only pin this because I need 4 layers of this collar and I'm gonna interline it with this. I never usually pin when I'm rotary knifing. That's what we're talking about this a little bit. And I pinned a ton to keep it stable because it's very, very wishy. You know, it's like wiggly all over the table. It's our least favorite fabrics to cut. Get that blade, my blade away from that weight. That being said, it was refreshing to have it all stay in place using the pins, but I wouldn't normally do that. All right, so we're just gonna keep this like that because it's nice. It is not part of the pattern instructions to interline. I'm doing that because part of the appeal of these collars and the way this fabric or this pattern is designed is that you are encouraged to hand stitch all the collars with a running stitch of decorative like embroidery floss. Bimberg. I don't think it's Bimberg. It's more crepey, not crepey, more matte. Bimberg is crisper and slippery. This is more tacky. So anyway, so because we're not doing this decorative stitching because this print is so bold and big, and this is what Hearts Fabric wants. They were like, hey, we're not going to have you hand stitch this. They wouldn't do that to me. We're going to just leave the collars as is, right? We're not going to do this hand stitching. That being said, this fabric is really thin. They gave me interfacing to use, and I just don't think that that would be the best choice. If you look at the version of this blouse on the Decades of Style website, you can tell she didn't interface it, and it looks really nice. It has a lot of drape, and it kind of, it's very flowy looking, but still has that structure. So that's what I was thinking. No, it's not acetate. Hi, Kathleen. How's it going? I'm wondering, isn't broadcloth stiffer? Feels more like quilting cotton. I think it's batiste. Yeah, so anyway, I have this in my stash, so I thought I'd try it. Get back here. What did I do with the back facing? Did I just lose the back? Oh, there it is. All right, let's cut out the rest of my collars and this. All right. This selvage is cut off. What a mystery. Someone gave this to me. Crepe de Chine. I forgot about that fabric. It's definitely not that. You guys don't think it's batiste? Yeah, I don't definitely. It's not acetate. Acetate's not like a fabric type. It's more of a fabric content, right? I think it's batiste. You guys don't think so? It's so satisfying going through 6 layers of really lightweight fabric with a brand new rotary knife. Ooh, can you imagine? It feels so good, you guys. Let me just tell you how it feels. Like you can feel all the little layers and they kind of go, and they separate when you do it. I'm doing a little audio ASMR for you. Look at that, nice clean cuts. Just eat that up. All right, so I'm just gonna pin that to there. Get rid of all of you. And then we just have this one here. And I'm gonna do the back neck facing as well, just so we have it. I probably have like 4 yards of this stuff. I almost used it to line a dress recently. All right. Hi, Julia, how's it going? It is smooth. It's, I said it's crepey, but it's not that it's crepey. It's that it's not satiny. I'm describing it bad. I think it is batiste. Yeah. You're cutting out the Harper cardigan. Nice. Oh, it's a free pattern. I didn't know that. Okay. There's only a back neck facing, but we need some binding, by the way. It's in the instructions. I just happened upon it. So I should have notched my center back neck when I had that on the fold. We'll do it later. All right, this is our last piece, plus we're going to do a piece of binding too. What is that? Oh, there's like a little bump in there. I think it was like threads. All right. I also think a lot of folks use weights that don't have a handle when they're rotary knife cutting, and you know, that's just personal preference. But those little weights where you can't, they're only like this tall, it's really hard to grab them, and when you do, you might move your fabric, and that might add to some of the cutting challenges. They're just, you know, it's just like every little thing can add up and make your experience not as pleasant, you know. I know a lot of people like the using a big washer, and that's fine. They're totally fine, right? But that is something to think about, you know, like if there's just little things that really add up to your experience. So note that on a lot of these collar pieces, see this little bow tie? That does become important later, and it's really tiny. That is a marking. And then I think that there is, yeah, a circle down here where my thumb is. There's this double notch right here. So at one point when you stack the collars, it says match bow ties, squares, circles, all that. And when I tried to do that on the pattern, there were only bow ties on 2 of them. So I'm going to look at it closer later. So there's a bow tie here and a bow tie here. And I don't think that that's how they line up. I think, but I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong because I don't think you do that, right? All these edges have to line up somehow. So I think that that you're more like lining these up here. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I wish I could get these to line up when they're cut pieces, you know? Ray, hello. How's it going? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Michelle. Hi, Penny. How's it going? Or Patty. Haven't done that to you in a while. Oh, yeah, the little pyramids. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Elizabeth. How's it going? I love everyone coming in at noon. I feel like that's the time change thing. Biting us in the butt. Yeah, so Michelle, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm a little concerned about it. I don't want to add it and make it bulky. I want the collar to be soft and drapey. But I think interfacing it with a fusible is a little too much. Especially like interfacing textures showing through on such a thin fabric. So it may not be, it may not work out. But I'm willing to at least sew one and see what I think first, you know. Hey, Bonnie. Yeah, this is, I feel like this is, yeah, well, there is cotton batiste. This, and I know what you're talking about, Bonnie. And that's like a very finely woven cotton that's very lightweight, plain weave, right? How are you, Ray? Thanks for the donation. We love binding. You use 2 old irons? That's great. Me too. It works really good. Yeah, here's my irons right here. These are my favorites. And how meta, right? Let's get some binding out. But these right here, these are like actual industry pattern weights. I just have them from when this factory went out of business. I bought them from them. Because otherwise I couldn't have afforded to buy them at the time. They were like $17 each, I think, brand new. And then paying for shipping. Now, you know, lots of people are giving free shipping and stuff like that. It would be a more affordable time. Oof. Binding with viscose. Gonna have to say, not my favorite thing in the world. Can I get binding out of this piece right here? I don't think so. This is the length grain right here. I mean, I could get a piece of binding right here if I really wanted to save this nice big piece, just in case I have a collar snafu, you know. I could get a piece of binding right here. And maybe that's what I'll do. I like using these weird pieces to get binding because you don't have to have a perfect 45-degree angle to get bias. Anything off of the grain is going to give you bias. And this will be enough bias for us. So, right? I know. I mean, it's like I don't have a whole lot of mystery fabrics, but when that gal moved away and she gave me a lot of her fabrics, there is some mysteries in there. And this one, this black one reminds me of, I would always be attracted to that wall with the rainbow of fabric. And there'd be all the broadcloths and all the batistes. And that's what, and I would never get to buy the batiste because it is kind of a specific, you know, fabric. It's too lightweight to use. You wouldn't use it as an outer garment. I mean, maybe. But it wouldn't be, I don't know. I think you know what I mean. All right, so we got this piece here. The tail of a whale, it does, didn't it? Let's see. I think I can get a piece here. Like this. All right. I'm just going to cut it about 1 3/8 inch wide, which is 35 millimeters. That's my favorite binding width. I find 1.5 inches is a little bit, that extra 1/8 of an inch, I don't know, kind of is a pain in the butt. The seam allowances on this garment are 5/8. They're clearly stated throughout. We love to see that. Okay, I don't know how much binding I really need. Let's see if we can find a measurement for it. It's only for the two front neck, from the back, from the shoulder seam to the front. That's it. And I need it on the sleeve armholes. The armholes. The sleeve armholes. That makes sense. So it just says cut 1.5 inch strip of bias facing to front, neck, edge, and armholes. That doesn't mean, that means wide. They want it, she's saying cut 1.5 inches wide, not a 1.5 inch long piece. That's a little confusing. So I have those two. It would be nice to have a slightly longer piece for the armholes though, am I right? I don't really want to piece it all together. So, let me find it. I feel like there's got to be a bigger piece in here that I could use. But maybe not. Oof, these are definitely scraps. This one. This looks promising. All right. See, look at that little piece right there. Meow. Or maybe I want to go this way. Let's see. I can get one piece there, 16 inches long. This one's 18 inches long, and I can get two of them. Here we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I wonder how long the armhole is. I just didn't want to have a lot of seams, you know? I'll bet the armhole only needs 1 inch wide. Mark my words. Because there's a seam allowance. You're not binding the edge, you're facing it. That's a little different. And then you only need like 1 inch wide. But we can cut it down. I'm just getting like low on my fabric scraps here. I'm like following my cut edge along the edge here. Am I really? My mat is a little textured for this kind of fabric. Wah. Well, we'll just cut another piece and then hopefully these pieces will be enough. All right. I'm going to cut this at an angle. We always piece it together at an angle. We have more fabric if we need. We have this big piece here. That's my scraps. Hi, Elena. How's it going? Nice to see your little embroidery in the guild. That was very inspiring since mine turned out like booty cheeks. Like it's so bad. I'll just share it. You guys don't want me hand sewing. I'll prove it. I was like, these instructions are terrible. Now just stitch this. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Oh man, it turned out so bad. All right, so I'm gonna leave my pattern pieces over here. They're in my little bin right here. Here is my collars. They gave me some interfacing here. I'm just gonna probably send it back to them though. I have my little scrap of fabric, which I keep over here so I don't think it's a pattern piece. We got our instructions, which are, I think right here. Ready to go. Oh, I should have told you guys the sizing. It goes from these are only imperial measurements, a 30-inch bust and 33-inch hips to 46-inch bust to 49-inch hips. Not a lot of sizes. It's definitely in that narrower size range. And the sizes are 2 inches apart, so they're pretty forgiving that way. So if these were numbered sizes, you'd have twice the number of sizes. Does that make sense? So because these are a 2-inch grade, and then the sizing goes, it's really, you just go by your bust, but it's like AAA, BBB, those are the sizes. I just go by the bust size. So if it was a 1-inch grade, it would be twice the number of sizes. So the 2-inch grade does give you a little bit more ease, and if you are wondering if you should size down, that might help you, because that's a 2-inch jump. Think of it that way. I'm not sure what the ease is though. Dang, you only need, with 60-inch fabric, you only need 1 1/8 inch yards for the small, 1 1/8 yards. I don't know why I said inch. 1 1/8 yards for the smaller size to 1 3/8 yards for the largest sizes. And even with the 45-inch, you're well under 2 yards for any of the sizes. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. For 3 collars, no sleeves. That helps. Sleeves take up so much fabric, you know. Yeah, right, Elena? Yeah, it's so bad. And I was so excited to give that as to my mom for Christmas, and then I was like, I'm not gonna give this to anybody. I think I should just legit start over. It's so bad. But seeing yours is so cute, and it's all dense, and the different stitches kind of give it the texture, and oh man. It was like that classic thing. I'm like, I'm going to get all these little embroideries. They're so cute, and they're about California. And I'm going to be this person. I'm going to start stitching. And then I started stitching. I'm like, I am not this person. I am trying. I'm trying. Yeah, anyway. All right, well, I'm going to be sewing this tomorrow, part 1. We start off with the invisible zipper right off the bat. So I'm not sure if I'll actually get to the fun collar part quite yet. Let's see where I think I'm going to get. And then I sew part 2 on Saturday, just in case you are working during the week or you're playing hooky here. Let's see. I think that we're going to do all the darts and pleats, the side zipper, and then maybe we'll assemble our collars. We'll see about that. And then from there, we'll put the collars together as, you know, like when I'm saying assembling the collars, assembling each of the individual top, middle, and under collars. And then probably Saturday, we'll put the collars together, put it to the neckline, and do all the finishing. Yeah, those patterns are intense. For a little 4-inch embroidery, that's plenty. Yeah, exactly. I can do it. Anyone can do it. Yeah, and the instructions are definitely, that's how, yeah. The instructions also are so tiny that I had to take a photograph with my phone and zoom it in. Because there were some little sketches and I was like, what is different between these 2 sketches? I couldn't tell. But, you know, I see all these successful versions of it, so maybe it is me. I don't know. We're talking about these little embroideries that we both got from Hearts Fabric that came out last summer. Really cute. So, yeah, exactly. I'll have to just, I have another year to make them holiday gifts again, right? I got the redwood tree, the California in the shape of California with lemons all filled in it, and then I got the poppies. I feel like I got those 3. Yeah. So, and I did the poppies first, and anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. Tomorrow we'll be sewing. It'll be fun. This fabric under the needle will be really fun to see. Making this little blouse. So unique. I'm not into pointed collars, but I really like the way this looks in the hashtag. So, and it'll be fun to see this gorgeous fabric. Again, this fabric is the Tulips Crepe. 100% viscose, 50 inches wide. It's linked in the description. And then the item number is there as well, which is 102836. And then this is the Girl Friday blouse, My Decades of Style. Yeah, so I'm just reading, like they said. Also, the collar strengthened by hand embroidery, but that doesn't work with this fabric, so they included interfacing to use if I want instead. So, and then, yeah. Yeah, Libby, I'm just about to head out. That time change getting you down? You're in the same time zone as me. Oh, thanks, Ray. Thanks for the. I haven't been liking the videos because I've been watching in the control room rather than on YouTube. So I haven't even been liking it, and I've noticed definitely there's not as many. Like when I'm done, it's kind of funny. All right, I do have a new pattern review video. If you guys are interested. Morgan Jeans by Closet Core Patterns. The other two, let's be honest, pattern reviews that are coming soon are the Glissando Pants by Love Notions, which is another button fly. It's an exposed button fly. And then the Dawn Jeans by Megan Nielsen Patterns. So, Libby, you're so funny. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. See, isn't that thumbnail so cute? Look at that picture. It's so cute.